As you can see, today is a very happy day for me because just a few days back, Figma announced that they now have Figma Motion, and this is not just a tiny tool. This is not prototyping and nonsense thing that UI designers used to use. This is motion design, and I've seen it, I've tested it, I've watched a lot of videos, and I've tested it. I didn't even sleep the night that they announced it. You get, I had to watch config from beginning to end. You get, in this video, I'm not being an expert. I wasn't a motion designer before, but I know how to use Illustrator, and how to use CapCut, and how to use Premiere Pro, and I know a little bit of After Effects. You get, so I'm just going to show you some major things that I found while using Figma Motion. All right, so with no further ado, let's get straight into the video. If you do not see Figma motion on your Figma, just because I know that some of us do not even close our apps, so just close your app and open it back. If you don't still see it, I'm going to place a link in the description below so you can download it on your laptop, either iOS or Windows. Figma motion is still on public beta. There are a lot of new changes that are going to be added and removed. But yeah, so I'm going to show us a couple of things. The first one is showing you what it looks like on your timeline. So yeah, I'm going to be working with these 3 frames on our design today. And so basically, this is what Figma motion looks like. You see, still written motion better. So you click on it, and guess what? You have a timeline on your motion. And I think this is very easy to use. This is just so amazing because you still get to use Figma. You don't have to take Figma. You don't have to take the stuff to another tool to do the motion design, to animate on it. You still get to use all the Figma tools that you like. I know that some tools are not available to use in motion. Like for example, Scale tool is not available to use. I don't think you really need it. Um, pen 2 is not available as well, but I think it's not so much of a big deal. If you really want to do like something that has to do with like illustration on a pen 2, all you just have to do is toggle, come back to design, and you do it, and you come back here immediately to motion. It doesn't lag your system based on the one that you use though. Yeah, so very easy. So I'm just going to be touching on a couple of things. This is what the time frame looks like, timeline looks like, and let's work with automated animation. So that's one big plus for Figma compared to After Effects, is that you have automated animations. So some things are very automated. If you use jitter before, this is not going to be strange to you. You get. I'm just going to click on it, and now it has automatically added scale. That's not what I wanted to add. So how this scale was able to have been added was, you would come here, animations here, click on these 4 dots, and these are basic already preset animations. So let's see what this one looks like. Let's say rotation. Let's work with rotation. So there's scale and there's rotation. Let's leave scale there. So this is how you just do scale. You just come here as well and you select scale. You understand? So this is like, they call it animation layering. You get, so there's scale and there's rotation. So it's written here, scale, rotation. Just click rotation, scale. So the idea is that, let me toggle this one off. You're not going to see what's happening here. It's just rotating into the place. Then let's toggle it on and toggle this one off. So it's just scaling. So the scale is not so big. I feel like if you want to edit this one, let's come here, click on this. So you're just editing to from 100% to 120%. So let's say increase it to 200%. Yeah, and see what's going to look like. You get, so it has increased even more. Then you can also edit this by coming here and clicking on the easing. So the easing is the way the motion is happening. So like this now, the way it's happening, it can, let's say it was on hold. You get, it's just happening very rigidly. You get, it's just appearing and popping. But you can edit it. Come here. If you're not used to all these things, all these things might not make sense to you. Let's just come to linear. The more you use it, the more you get to understand divide that is given, and you can have your favorite and say, oh, I prefer hold, I prefer linear. So this is what linear looks like. It's just doing it like that. Now the bounce is going to be different if you come to something like let's say ease in back. So you see the difference. Yeah, let me show you something else. So this is the timeline here. This tells you the whole, sorry, yeah. So this is a loop, so it means that it's going to, this stroke here or whatever is going to come till the end and it's going to touch here and loop from beginning again. But I think I prefer this one they call the ping pong. So it goes to the end and it comes back. You understand? It goes to the end and it comes back here. So that's how the timeline works. Then you can also move this. This shows you the extent of how much you can see, because if this is to the end, the ping pong time is now more. Do you get? So because this is a short animation, you want to see everything that you're doing at once. Play. You understand? And yeah, I think that is basically it. You can actually just come here and play with this thing on your own. So yeah, now I've added the rotation back and you see the way it's rotating. So this is the whole time for the extent of the animation. Now, if I increase this now, you will see that this one has increased, and this is in milliseconds. So let's change it to seconds. This is 0.6 seconds. So this is the playtime, that kind of thing. Yeah. So this is the playtime, the time that is showing. If I move from here to 2 seconds, see that this one has changed. You get, and this is your play button, and this is called the auto keyframing. So this is what the scale 2 has been replaced with. So scale 2 is like K, this one is shift K. You get, so this is the auto keyframing. I'm going to show you what it looks like as we go on. So you can use this to close all groups and open all the groups. I think this is just so really nice. Then you can also use this to reduce the length of the timeline and increase it as well. Then you can use this to close timeline and you can use this to open timeline again. Or you can pinch to reduce and expand with your hand to increase. You get, yeah. So that's that for the timeline and the automation templates. You get. So for the animation templates. So you can also let's try this. Let's delete this. Just press delete it to delete and delete this. Let's click on it again, come here and use some of these ones. These ones are the basic ones. This one, so you have a whole lot to use from here. Let's check fling and see what it looks like. So you see, these ones are even more dramatic and more less basic. The other one was basic. Now you're going to move to the next one that I was talking about. Is keyframing. Keyframing is like using it manually. It's like manual animations. Now let me tell you something here. One very plus for Figma motion is that if you were to be After Effects and you want to do two different illustrations, you have to create two different files, just like the same way you create two different files on Photoshop. But you can work on a whole lot of files. You can work on the animation for a whole brand guide on one sheet, on one I think sheet is the word I would use. Yeah, you can work on it on one interface, and all the motions still appear there. Do you get? So now let's say we want to animate this, and I'm just going to use an idea I found from somebody's video. We want to animate this to move from here to here, and we want to change the color that such that as it's moving from here to here, is going to change color. So the idea of keyframing is that if you're not used to keyframing, you never learned it in CapCut, you never learned it in Photoshop, anywhere. The idea of keyframing is I'm going to hold this particular place, and when I move to this place, I want something else. I want this thing to be different. So it can be different in size, it can be different in position, it can be different in color, it can be different in anything. But guess what? With Figma motion, keyframing exists on every feature that you want to change of about any element. Do you understand? So now, the way you can put color here. Now keyframe has appeared here. So this is where you want to start. This is the starting point, 0.0. You put your keyframe and you move to, let's work with 4 seconds. You move to 4 seconds, and at 4 seconds you put another keyframe and you now change the color. Let's change the color to something like this. You get? So when we play it, we now see that the color has changed. You get? Now let's bring back our time distance. So it's here. You get? So this is what keyframing is like. You're going to do a couple more keyframes, so you see how you can enjoy it. Now if you click on this, you get? So like I said, keyframing basically tells you that I was here before, and when I move here, I want to see a change. So the change now that we're talking about is change in color. You get? And this is for the background. This is for the frame. Now let's do a keyframe on this, but we're going to do it differently because I want to show you how to use the What's the name of this tool again? The auto keyframing. Now here's how it works. You press Shift K, and once you press Shift K, you move your line. I don't know the name of this thing, but you move your line to where you want it to be, and we want it to be at 4 seconds. Now, if I move this from here to here, it automatically does the keyframing for me of position. If I now come here and at this place, and I say no, I want to no, and I say no, I want to go up, I want to increase it. So this is to increase the scale. Or let's say I want to reduce the scale. Do you get? So you see that what has appeared here is position and scale. So this is what it initially looked like when we brought it from here, and this is what it has looked like now. You get? So because what this auto keyframing does is it assumes your initial point and all the elements that and all the settings that it has at the initial point. And once, that's why I told you that before you move it on screen, you have to move this line to the end. You get, showing the auto keyframing that where I want these changes to happen is at 4 seconds, not at 0 seconds, because the already existing settings exist in the 0 second. That's the initial place where you took it from. Do you get? I really hope you guys are understanding. Now, you're going to, if I press play, you see how it's moving. Yeah. Then now you remember that easing that we talked about, how we can make it ease properly. Now, let's say this is how it works for when you do it manually. What we did for this is change the position from here to here and also change the scale. So as it's going there, it's reducing. Now, let me show you something else that you can also do with it. Let's go from here. Now this is a group. I want to click on only this ellipse and say, as is here, let's work with this keyframe, color keyframe, and go to 4 seconds. And at 4 seconds, I also want to change the color. So this is blue now. Let me do something that matches this color. No, this is not line. Now, I also want a situation whereby, okay, sorry, yeah. Let's work on the easing before we do the second thing. I wanted to do like a rotation, something. Now, before we do the rotation, I want us to do this. I want us to work on like an AI agent kind of stuff, so that by the time we're done, we'll see what AI agent has done. Now, if I click on this and I come here and click on Ask Agents, now I had already copied the prompt out, so I'm just going to copy and paste. Is a very simple prompt, and that's another thing I love about Figma. You don't have to put all the words like the way you put on ChatGPT. I'll say make all the elements bounce in and magnify. Also, I want to create this illustration, by the way, using Illustrator. So I'm going to click on go, and it's working on that. Now, here's what we want to do with this. I was saying that we are going to work on the easing. You get, so the easing is basically how it moves to seem natural, how the animation moves and it makes it look natural. So I'm going to click on this, and we're going to see linear. Now, linear doesn't really work for me. Yeah. So you're going to come to linear, and also you can edit it by yourself. You can customize it to suit what you want. So this one is ease back out. So let's click on it and see what it looks like. I really do not understand it as much. Do you get? So I think this is an amazing effect. So this is for the position, like for the movement from this to this. But I think maybe it's too much. So let's say ease out. Do you get? I think this is not so bad. Then we can also edit it by ourselves and move it a bit. Do you get? Yeah, I think this works. Let's work on the same thing for this. Yeah. Yeah. Then now the next thing I wanted to do is, since we are working with a loop, I wanted a situation whereby we're working with a ping pong. So the idea is, a ping pong makes it rotate and come back. I wanted a situation whereby on this group, we can rotate it. You get? So I'm going to go here and click on a rotation. So right now I'm going to keyframe it first of all at 0. Then I'm going to come to 4 seconds and click and use 180. Then I also want the easing to make sense. So that sound is for like tell me that stuff has been done. Like the AI agent is done with doing the animation. So let's come here. Let's work with is out. Then we're going to extend it a bit. You get. So let's see what it looks like. Do you understand? So this time around, as it's getting here, it's rotating to the other side. So notice that all these changes are happening. Now, another change that you might not be really seeing, which I want to do something about, is this color. The color is not really looking like it's changing. So let's actually change the color to something. No, let's not go dark. Let's go light. Let's just change it to green. Yeah, I think green works very fine. But I don't like the way it's changing. So let's delete that. Seems like it has created two keyframes. All right. So yeah, I think this works. So you want to practice, go ahead and explore as much as you can. Let's just pause this. Now let's go to this and see what see what I'm used to saying ChatGPT. See what the AI created. I'm going to go to my agents and click here and say play animation. So this is the animation that I got created. So let's come back here and move this. All this happened within. So let's off 1.5. All this happened within 2 seconds. Oh, now I see why it didn't work. Yeah, so let's work it 2 seconds. So you see all the animation. So you can change, you can see where all the keyframes is at. You can see it has even used it did like a custom bezier curve, and yeah, see all the changes. So I think you can use this AI animated motion effects basically for everything you want to do. You get, or you can just mostly use it for tasks that can feel repetitive, or things that you don't want to have to stress yourself in doing. Like there's no other way, there's no creativity that you want to add to it. Yeah, so you're just going to come here and play it and see what it looks like. I think this is gold. This is key. This is just so good. So good. Ah, so good. All right. So finally, we're going to export this document. So I saw a lot of export options while I was learning about this and watching the conference that Figma organized. But I don't really understand how it works. I'm not going to lie to you. Yeah. I don't really understand how all those JSON code and all those things work, because I don't really use JSON code. I don't work with um developers. But I think all you just have to do is come to here and click on open developer mode or something like that. I think then you can come here. I think then export to JSON code or blah 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 blah. But I'm so sorry, this is not for me. So I'm just going to come. You can even do it on your design too, on your design place. So once you come here, you will notice that if you come to export here, there's static. So for static now, you can click and say, oh, PNG 4x. But this time around, since this frame has been animated, you see this animation stuff showing here. Now you have to come here, and now Figma is just so amazing. They have 1x, 2x. I think you can even make it 10x. Yeah, but let's not work with 10x. Let's work with. Let me try something. Yeah, so this is. I think this is 4K, 4000 H or something like that. I think this is 4K. You can increase the quality, increase the frame rate, and change the name and say Figma illustration 1. Now let's export Figma illustration 1 animated, everything. Now what it does is that it's going to bring you to another page where it's going to load or something. Right now you can't really share the exported documents. to maybe your friends or somebody on your team. But yeah, this is it loading, and in a couple of minutes it's going to be exported. I feel like Figma might not be the place to do like very long animations. They are just going to be doing very short animations. I don't know, sure, but like it's not that bad at the end of the day, because you can do animation, then you can do like a 2 seconds animation, add another 2 seconds, and put it together on CapCut or something. And another thing I noticed as well is, if you want to say, oh, I'm going to leave motion design or this is that, I'm going to leave my After Effects. Another issue that I might have is music. I don't know if they use music on After Effects, but yeah, I didn't. I noticed that that was not anything considered in the Figma motion. It's just about the motion, and you can take it to CapCut and do your music addition and all those kind of things. So yeah, let's see. This is what it looks like. Very clear, very crisp. I think this is good. I think this is good. This is really good. This is really good. Yeah. So let me know if there's any other thing that you wanted me to talk about. I'm still learning about Figma motion. And as I get to learn more things, one thing I really want to learn how to do is to do a motion design for a logo. And I think it's not going to be so hard. It shall depends on the kind of animation you want to do for the logo. But yeah, as I get to learn more, I'll show you guys how to do it. And I think this was an amazing one. Thank you so much, Figma. Peace out.